Welcome to Loot Fiends episode 4. Wanna get heist? I'm Ringo, and with me as always,
LazySilver. Welcome everybody.
And today we're going to be taking a preview look into the Heist League that launches this Friday for Path of Exile, as well as touching briefly on the Division Summit announcement, as well as Destiny 2 releasing their new Stasis subclasses, as well as their approach to sunsetting.
So we got a kind of packed episode, so let's kind of jump right into it.
Heist, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it looks kind of interesting. I do like, the main thing I like about it that I noticed is they're kind of separating the mechanic from mapping a little bit to not interfere with the flow of your maps. So the contracts, I believe they called them, are going to be dropping in your map, and then you choose to run them. So kind of like Delve was, right? Like you just hit your nodes and...
Yeah, it'll be like Delve, but not just follow this tunnel endlessly. There'll be a more variety and a lot more rewards, because like with Delve, your main reward is get deep, get to like 2,500 depth, just go all out pushing it, and then sell the fossils that are abundant at that depth and lower that sell for like, depending on league, 1 to 2.5x per. I think last league they were around 2.5, 2 for almost the duration of how long I played Harvest, which was about 7 to 8 weeks.
Right. I also like that it looks like more targeted loot.
Yeah, I really think that going forward, GGG has realized that a lot of people like targeted loot, especially the solo self-found players, as that community just grows. Not even just softcore, hardcore, just in general. So I see targeted loot being a thing in mind. And, well, I mean, it's hard to tell because PoE 2 is going to come out, because of COVID, probably earliest, very end of 2021, but probably 2022.
I saw like a 3-year estimate some people had given.
Oh, really?
So,
that long?
And who knows? I think some of it's going to depend on how much pressure they get from Diablo 4. So
that's fair too.
How far away Diablo 4 is kind of dictates how far away PoE 2 needs to be.
Right. Yeah, because you don't want too big of a gap between that, because if Diablo 4 comes out, like, say, 6 months earlier, but they're releasing content all the time and people fall in love with it, like, say, Blizzard accidentally stumbles into a good game, then...
Is that the only way they're getting there, in your opinion? I take it?
Fucking anymore. I mean, what was the last good thing they put out? Overwatch, right? 2014?
Sure, Hearthstone was good for a while.
Hearthstone was good for a while until they just turned it into a virtual slot machine. It's Blizzard hasn't had good ideas since. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure their devs have plenty of good ideas. Blizzard doesn't release good ideas unless they make a lot of money.
They're all ongoing revenue streams, and that's
right. Yeah, they used to release hit after hit after hit after hit, but that's when Morheim and all those guys were still in charge of it. And since Activision, it appears, kind of forced him out, it's just went drastically downhill. I mean, WoW's in the worst state it's ever been. StarCraft 2 hasn't had an update in years, like an expansion or anything. There's no rumor for...
they had the remaster? StarCraft remaster?
Well, that was for the original one. I'm talking StarCraft 2. They didn't remaster StarCraft 2. It's already on the new engine. Warcraft 3 Reforged was hot trash. They haven't touched the Diablo franchise since when did D3 originally launch? 2012, Reaper of Souls 2014, and here we are with it now. So their seasons are pretty weak, right?
Like, you forgot HOTS, but that's...
I'm not ready to talk about HOTS. I really enjoyed HOTS because...
You're still emotionally wounded.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, I sucked too hard to like probably play Dota or League, and I really liked HOTS. It was all the characters I grew up with in gaming, just fighting with each other. It kind of had like a Super Smash Brothers feel to it, to me, as far as like, oh my god, I get to play with all my favorites. Man, I'm old. The first Super Smash Brothers came out, I was like 9 or 10. That's a long freaking time ago. But
we're also a long way away from Heist.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think that GGG needs to to release probably somewhat in the same time frame as Diablo 4, if not a little before, right? That way, if PoE 2 comes out and it's amazing and it draws in a bunch of new players or reignites it for people that have moved away from Path of Exile for now, it'd be hard for Diablo 4 to probably steal the PoE loyalists. However, I mean, everyone that loves
ARPGs is going to try Diablo 4.
Exactly.
At least try it.
You're going to try. Most people are going to play both that actually love the genre.
I have no doubt in my mind when it comes out. I mean, who knows if PoE's 2's out and it comes out like the same time a new league hits, which one am I going to play? That's a very difficult decision. I have no idea. Depends on how they're both looking. But if PoE turns out to be the better one, then Diablo 4 is probably I'm going to play something I'm going to play in between leagues. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Whatever one is worse is the one that will be on the back burner of, okay, well, I'm done with this league for whatever one I like better, and then switch over to the other one. I'd have to say with, the last 4 years at least, that it's been a clear-cut PoE winner. But I don't blindly follow any publisher, developer, company, whatever you want to call them, because anybody can start slacking at any time. So I don't know what the future holds, but I mean, my money would be betting on grinding gear games.
Yeah, but okay. So as far as the actual heist mechanic goes, when you go into to actually do your heist
into the vaults,
how do you think that's looking?
I want to be positive. I really think there's probably going to be some bugs. If we're just being honest about it, which is, I mean, it's unavoidable. I'm really glad you don't have to babysit the NPCs. They just kind of go in and do their thing. You have to pick the right NPC that has the right skill set or right items depending on what rooms you have in your blueprints. So, like, if you have a bunch of locked doors, you have to pick the guy that has lock picking, or the explosive guy, or the stealth guy, or whatever. They haven't released how many are there? 9, 12, something like that? For how many mercs there are?
I think they said there were 13 different NPCs, but those 13 different NPCs had basically the combination of all the skills you needed.
Right. So, but they haven't released like every single skill, but it's going to be you have these rooms, you need these guys to come help.
Right, like you need the lockpicker to come along because you have a vault door in the way or something.
Right. So that's...
But I'm hoping there's kind of a meta to that hits... So it's like, hey, pick these 4 NPCs. It covers pretty much everything you need. Slot them this way. Okay, you're good, and you never really have to touch it again. So it'll be kind of like the Harvest setup. It's just going to take some time for people
some heavy initial investment to not have to
figure out what the min-max is. But once you find it, you kind of set it and forget it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that'd be the dream. The last thing I want is another, like, fresh betrayal league where I have to pull up like an Excel spreadsheet constantly because it's hard to remember what each one does in every single slot.
Gotcha. And I have no doubt it'll go like it usually does. People will find some things we don't like about it. People on the internet will find some things they don't like about it. GGG will make a patch in the very beginning. The big thing I wanted to touch on, and I think this is really smart and really incredible on GGG's part, is they put out the technical patch this week.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
They did it this week to try to iron out any bugs and stuff before Heist launches. That way it's not the memeified but still very valid week 2 patch fixes the league.
Right.
So they put out the technical patch 2 weeks early to try to get it all out, and that way hopefully Heist will be... This could be the smoothest Heist league or smoothest league launch we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the dream. I don't remember the last actual smooth league launch. It's been a minute. But, I mean, they were hitting, like, new peak highs constantly. I don't think Harvest did, though. I think Harvest fell a little short or even with Delirium.
I can understand that.
But there's always going to be something, it's the saying in all games. Exploit early, exploit often. I mean, there's always some kind of game-breaking bug. There's always going to be a performance hit.
I mean, I don't remember a league launch that didn't have something like that. I mean, Division 2 or remember the original Division?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Bullet King, glitching the APC.
oh yeah, there's always gonna be stuff like that, but I'm way more okay with that than and because GG always fixes it quick than I am with getting terrible performance for 2 to 3 weeks into the league.
Right. And that's what I think they're trying to alleviate, and that's awesome.
I'm just happy that I'm not going to have 25-minute Steam download and installs for 200 meg of data anymore for Path.
Oh, it's going to be glorious. The new sound sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the sound sounds
I was
great.
getting a little bit of a weird bug on something where I think if too many sound effects went off at once, everything started sounding muted for a little bit.
Yeah, that's always kind of been a thing. If you blow up way too much at the same time and you have like a guard skill hit and a bunch of other stuff, that the sound will just disappear for a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know quite what that was. I hadn't really experienced that before, or at least not that I noticed. But
right.
But yeah, I think the game looks a little bit better in my opinion. It sounds a little bit better.
I'll tell you what I'm most excited for about it is that when you do a grand heist and once you grab the artifact and trigger the alarm, you have to make it out in time and not die or you lose everything, right?
Yeah, it puts a way bigger risk versus reward than a lot of.
Well, I'm really stoked that you can't log out macro during that. So the high horse hardcore solo self-found, by the way, get knocked down a little bit of a peg if they choose to log out, they just lose their stuff, because that's going to be interesting to see pan out. I mean,
I think you might see some character deaths you wouldn't normally see because people have something they're incredibly hyped about that I have to get this out.
Right, well, especially because there's that huge Ziz race going on, right, for a lot of money. So, I mean, actually that race, though, those guys aren't going to do anything with Heist until the race is over. Other than the delve part, because the delve part goes for a month. But like the first to kill Cirrus 8, Uber Elder, Uber Atsy, Shaper.
I think you're going to see some people attempting it somewhat early on. Like, obviously not till they get to maps probably.
I don't think so, because there is an experience weight to that as well.
I think
for the race, because I think
people experiment with it just to see how much experience and shit it does give. Because remember, they started doing betrayal at one point Syndicate gives a metric crap ton of experience. So I think you're going to see some people experiment with it early on in the race just to see how rippy it is and to see what it gives.
Right.
But yeah, late race, if it pans out to be not worth the risk, then I think most people will skip it. Which,
yeah.
I mean, that's a judgment call you have to make every league.
Right. Overall, I think it's gonna be cool. I love mapping. However, the moment that I have all the end bosses down, I don't hit a gradual burnout with the PoE league. It is an on switch and off switch for me, and it's on for 4, 6, 8 weeks usually. But when I'm like, wow, I'm bored and I'm done, I'm instantly done. I've never played a game like that where I'm 100% devoted. That's all my attention. That's all I want to play, and then it just instantly switches the other way. Like every other game, I can feel myself slowly getting beat down of sadness, right?
Like a job, just getting beat down. But
yeah,
PoEs love to hate, or at least love to. I don't want to do this anymore.
But I could see playing Heist longer just because you won't have that. Oh, I don't feel like running another 28 or 40 maps to pop Cirrus just to go in there and get his helmet for the 12th time.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, for me, I just love the fact that I can do the contracts whenever I please. Because, like, when I get in the zone and map and I'm just sitting, chilling, just blasting maps, got some music playing, just kind of mindlessly going. There's nothing I want less than interruptions to that.
Right.
But because that's my play style. You know what I mean? It's not
absolutely
good or bad. It's just it works for my play style, which I think is awesome, and I hope they do more of it.
What do you think of the new skills that they've shown that are reworked and just new in general? You excited about any of them?
Oh, there's not a new skill I'm excited about. They barely touched on it, and it wasn't in. They touched on it in the text post, and it wasn't in the video. But I can get in that minute. You're pretty excited about too.
Blazing Salvo looks awesome. I think it has the potential to be completely broken with mines, and since it's actually fire, it partners well with Pyroclast mine. So that's always kind of been the weird thing with.
On that note, I'm kind of interested to see which one's going to end up being more damage, using Pyroclast mines, or you still using Blazing Salvo but using that fireball.
I don't think Salvo is going to have the single target, just because Pyroclast mine, and they've nerfed it in the past, is if you use Conk Effect, everything overlaps, so you're just like double, triple, quadruple hitting in an area.
Pyroclast things tagged as projectiles? Because if so, you could use the firewall with Pyroclast mines.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Anyway.
But they always cleared with Ice Shot mines, which means you have to stack generic spell and elemental damage, right? Like, You didn't want to stack a bunch of cold or a bunch of fire. But now that Salvo is what appears to be a good clearing spell that is fire, you have a natural clear now. So you can stack more fire damage, or you can do a conversion, or whatever your little heart desires. And then the other new one, because I am just an arc whore. I love arc. I love lightning spells mostly. Stormbrand, things like that.
Ball lightning.
Yeah, ball lightning is, correct me if I'm wrong, Crackling Lance, is that it?
Yep.
That looks really cool. And even from a self-cast perspective, I don't know. It's
going to be mainly self-cast because it has built-in Intensify.
Yeah, right. It has built-in Intensify.
And you can't really trigger that.
Right, so I don't know what I would play with it. I don't know what its single target damage will be.
They said that all its single target damage is packed behind the Intensify.
Right.
So you have to stand still for like 3 to 4 casts.
Which is kind of iffy on some bosses, but for map clear, that thing looks like it could be pretty sweet with like a Badge of the Brotherhood Assassin, assuming it's not nerfed.
Well, yeah, because your playstyle is going to be, okay, you're going to run, you're going to click, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to be doing your regular clicks and not doing Intensify a decent amount just to clear trash. You see a yellow and you just stand still and click it a couple of times and it's dead because you laser beamed it.
Yeah.
And everything else is dead. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be. I really like the way they designed it.
So, yeah, I think Crackling Lance looks pretty sweet. What new skills or reworks are you interested in?
Yeah, so the one I was talking about earlier is I actually like what they did with Whispering Ice, the staff.
Oh, yeah.
They tweaked the spell that comes from that. So, and they said they specifically reworked it so that it worked well with triggered and faster casting. Like ways to cast it a bunch very fast in the document.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about going Whispering Ice quick brands.
Oh, Swift Brand?
Swift brand. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Going Whispering Ice Swift brand. Because that casts it extremely fast. Yeah, it's almost the fastest way to cast a spell.
It's like what, a 65% more multiplier?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Because I was messing around with Swift brand this last league.
Right.
But I don't know. That seemed really interesting. Because that's going to be real cheap as a league starter, because all you need is the staff and 6-socket.
And the staff has targeted drops with div cards.
Yeah,
which drops in a couple different. I know it drops in burial chambers, for sure. Whispering Ice does, because every time I go like the doctor farming, I end up with just a shit ton of Whispering Ice.
Yeah, but you get high alch return from them.
Yeah, that's fair.
You always have a stock of things for Mysterious Gift.
Any other skills, or is that the main one that you're...
That was the main one that caught my eye, because it was only in the document. They didn't touch on it in the video, and I'm like, that might be gross.
So what are you thinking about league starting?
League starting, I don't know. I might try the Whispering Ice thing. It kind of depends on what we're doing. We're tossing around the idea of doing like a little private league.
Like a private league for sure.
Ringo and I are, just as kind of like a... Because we both play solo self-found off and on. But we'd like to like share map completion and stuff just to make it a little bit easier.
Duo self-found.
But if anybody else out there is interested in joining us in a little Loot Fiends private league, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter at RNGorilla. That's all one word, 1G, or at Loot Fiends.
But we won't turn on any modifiers or anything. It's going to just be...
It's just going to be the straight league mechanic.
Straight league mechanic, soft core, no Scylla Self-Hound or anything.
Right.
No modifiers. Just... It'll be just like the league, just with a smaller set of people, just to kind of little community or a little put a little more challenge into it, I guess, for us.
Yep.
So yeah, hit us up, let us know. So yeah, I think we pretty well covered Heist.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Division 2. What do you think of the Summit trailer and the responses of what people are saying that have played through it on the PTS?
Yeah, I think we were going to look into it, and we didn't actually get a chance to play it this week, sadly. But I think I think they're going to have to rework it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea. I love the idea of it. And if you remember it, when we were playing Division 1,
yeah, you suggested that in the Division 1 that would be a sweet idea.
Yeah, we were just like bullshitting playing Div 1, and I'm like, wouldn't it be awesome if we had to fight our way up a whole high rise?
Right. Which, yeah, it would be on paper.
I mean, it fits the game so perfect. The idea of it is just incredible because I think it's an idea a lot of people have had. You know what I mean? I remember seeing it on Reddit a couple of times in Div 1.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it's just the greatest idea. I think if they can get it down to where it is fun, I even don't think the loot that comes out of it matters that much. But if it's fun, if people want to start speedrunning it, they throw in a speedrun ladder board and stuff. I think it could be huge for them.
Yeah, well, not only that, if they make it, this is their chance to finally give people the PvE Dark Zone that everybody always clamors about, right? Or not everybody, but a lot of people.
Oh, I mean, it's more like Underground.
Well, yeah, but Underground has... The thing about the Dark Zone is it's free reign and it's fast, right? So if you put like a mini boss I don't know how they should do the rewards, but it needs to be rewarding, especially if there's 100 floors.
Even if it's I would like to see it that put them in or rewarding as that last thing they put into Div 1. What was that thing? The Horde mode thing.
Oh yeah, the Horde mode. That would be that thing was sweet. I think you could do it where, mobs have their same chance to drop anything. But I think every 10 floors you put a boss, and then I would like to see specific exotics, or not even exotics, just legendaries that are tied to the bosses that spawn, and it's random which boss spawns on which floor, and you get modifiers, right? So sometimes you get lucky, like I've been looking for this gun and he spawned on floor 10 for once instead of floor like 70, and rotate around. But people I don't want to speak for everybody, that they like targeted loot and not targeted how Division's doing it now, where it's like, okay, go do this zone for this brand set piece, or you know what I mean, like this brand holster or whatever, of loot being knowing I have a guaranteed chance to get this badass item I've been looking for off of this boss. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it'd be cool if they shuffled that up. But in classic Division criticism, everybody that I've watched play through it has, bullet sponginess just goes through the roof. Rewards are not there, and it's just it's kind of a shit show. But in their defense, it's their first go at it. It's a very rough pass. That's honestly why I haven't played it yet, because it's like, well,
right.
I wouldn't have got on the first fucking airplane that came out. You know what I mean? Like, let's let some other bitches try that out before I jump on board.
I saved myself a little suffering.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Is it's going to take them a couple tries, and they might not get it.
On the flip side, if it would have gone a couple of days and people are like, "This is great fun," I would have been like, "Let's give it a go."
But it's not getting good reviews right now. But I have high hopes for it. I would love for the Division to get back to even 80% of what the Division 1 was when it ended.
Oh yeah, then we'd lose another 100 hours to it.
Probably more. So yeah, that's basically what the division's got going on right now. The other big news that came out is they showed all the new stasis classes for Destiny 2 that'll be coming out this fall.
What's Warlock got?
Well, they're all... I'd have to look at them. They all have new supers. It's a lot of crowd control ice themes where you do abilities. If they hit, they freeze targets. If I think Warlock has an instant freeze. The other ones are like, if you stand in the wake for too long, they get frozen.
Gotcha.
And you can shatter, which means Crucible is going to be an absolute fucking shit show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Just nightmare fuel. You know, the time to kill in Crucible is like 0.3 seconds. So, and now if you can't even move, you're just boned. It's going to be madness, and I'm actually kind of excited for that. You know, for like 3 hours until I'm like, oh, this fucking fix your shit, Bungie, because you know I'm a man child. So
you are a roller coaster.
It's gonna be a pretty simple flow chart for me whenever a new patch comes out. Like I'm excited, and then like I'm like, well, it's not as bad as it could be, and then it's just instant like, oh, this sucks, and then I come back, I get bored, I leave, I come back, and I'm like, well, why'd I quit playing this game? It's fun, and then the cycle continues.
The circle of life, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I found pure happiness in a video game. I don't know. Would I like ascend to my next form? Would I quantum leap back home? I don't know.
You become the Buddha.
Yeah, I who knows? But it's just how I'm wired. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool.
It might be interesting. I haven't played Destiny in a while. I might have to actually pick it up because I mainly play Warlock and just CC. I'd like to play CC things.
Now, what does not look cool is sunsetting. I think that's dumb because of how Destiny has been wired from the get-go. They're
going back on a core aspect of their loot system, and that to me is, I don't know. It's because loot is so ingrained into what the game is, right? It's a looter shooter.
Well, not only that, a lot of the guns and stuff, especially PvP guns, require a multi-hour or multi-day session of farming to get even an acceptable roll, let alone a god tier roll. And that was always part of the Destiny 2 content. I'm using air quotes. You can't see that, but feel them. Air quotes. Okay. People are going to run out of stuff to do. They're going to have raid lockouts, so they can only run. They can't drive your head in against the same raid over and over and over and over as many times as you want. You can right now, and that's actually amazing for their summer event. But that's always been part of the content, right? Is go throw 20 hours at Reckoning and try to get a good spare rations, for example. Destiny 2 has always been designed for you farm for the gun that you like. You spend hours doing that. You acquire the rolls you want. That gun is with you as long as you want to use it. You can infuse it. That was their design choice. That was not a player thing. That was their design choice. It's been like that for years. So now they're taking they're not touching exotics. And if they touch exotics, if they sunset exotics, I will quit the game. Because those things take forever to farm for, and that's ridiculous.
Oh, especially if it's like raid exotics.
Yeah, they sunset Anarchy or 1K Voices. Like, they can fuck right off with that. So, purples, everything now has a max light score. So, the highest light score you can get right now is 1060, right?
Right.
A lot of guns are capped at 1060. So, then there's guns that are capped at like 1210, which I think is going to be the cap after the expansion hits this fall. And then the highest you can get right now is 1360, which means it'll be good for the duration of the entire next year.
Gotcha.
So there's new guns people are farming for, right? That are going to be good for a while yet. However, they have said, well, we'll bring back some of your favorite guns later. So it's just artificial shit to do. Right, you already farmed your god tier gun. We're going to
we're going to take it away from you, and you have to farm it again. It's
with no notice.
It's introducing a season mechanic. So they're trying to do economy wipe in a game that doesn't have an economy.
Right. Well, it's because I think it's not an economy wipe. I mean, I get what you're saying with that, but what it is I think they're just tired of designing guns. We made this gun that everybody likes. Nobody plays with our new shit. And Bob spent 12 hours drawing a pistol yesterday, and he's real sad. Bob is sad as shit. No one's using his pistol.
Well, there's one very easy solution for that, and it's the same solution every other loot game employs. You know what that is?
What would that be?
Power creep.
Yeah.
New shit is better.
Right, yeah. Exactly. But
even if it's only a smidgy better, even if it's an amount that you're still left with a little bit of choice.
Right.
But every other loot game has power creep. You have to put new exciting items in for people to chase.
And it's not only that. The thing that Destiny always nails is the feel. The guns, there's no game I've ever played that feels better to shoot a gun in than Destiny. None. And when they make like a perfect gun, it has a good fire rate, it's stable, the sights are good, the perks are good. It might have a perk that's tied to it, like the Recluse, which was like just a shit show of destruction for about a year. When they nail a gun, people don't want to move away from it. And you've told them since you've released your game that they don't have to, and now you're just taking it away so that Bob feels better about his pistol that he drew yesterday. And then the slap in the face of, we'll re-release them. Well, that's because you clearly don't give a shit about releasing more content or shit to do if that's your solution for content, in my opinion. Right? Because imagine the outcry if WoW did that shit. Right? Like, when a new raid comes out, you get... and WoW kind of does that with Mythic Plus shit, right? Because item level caps go up, so you have to regrind for your, this is my best trinket. Okay, well, it went up, so now I got to go farm for a higher eye level version, right?
Oh, it's the Diablo 3. Farm it with a new border.
But imagine if, as far as playtime goes for getting a roll, imagine if, like in Legion, you had your artifact, and you got the whole tree maxed out. Midway through Legion, they just destroyed your artifact, and then gave it back to you, but you had to refarm all the fucking progression you just lost. Right? Because that's kind of what they're doing. I don't know.
I would equate it more to the end of an X-Pack in WoW. Okay, now the items you farmed over this X-Pack are over.
Right, but WoW is always...
New items now.
WoW's always done that.
Right, so, but that's what Destiny's trying to introduce.
But in my opinion, it's too late to introduce that. Like, I'm still going to play it, but I think it's a dumb decision. Like, there's guns...
I think they could have introduced it in Destiny 3.
Right, well, they came out and said they've got at least another 2 to 3 years planned for Destiny 2. That they're not doing Destiny 3.
To me, that's not a thing you change in the middle of
you don't change
your life cycle.
Your core existent, like one of your pillars of this is what our game is about. 3, 4, 5 years into the game. I don't know.
Agreed. But anyway, it's enough of us just harping on Destiny, I guess.
That's fair.
But no, I do think the new stasis classes look kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it looks sweet.
The Warlock one.
So what have you been playing this week?
Oh, we've both kind of gotten the Among Us bug.
Oh yeah, that game is so fun and makes you hate your friends. It's like Mario Party but meaner, and I like it.
But other than that, I just got a little path itch coming back. Heist is getting me excited, so I played a little bit of Heist this week.
Right.
Or a little bit of path this week. But yeah, Among Us is...
Yeah, Among Us is pretty... I mean, it's fun to play a game that you're rewarded for lying sometimes. So, but yeah, that's all I've been really playing is Among Us and Destiny this week until Path starts Friday. So... next week, I think we're going to be doing our initial impressions on Heist, what's working, what's not working, what feels good, what feels bad.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Benadryl on Reddit.
The Benadryl?
Yeah, anti-Heist memes.
Yeah, that's going to be... The Reddit hive mind is a very fickle mistress, so...
I'm hope when it goes good, and the Reddit's amazing,
but when it goes bad, it is just, someone drove up to your house and shot your fucking dog in your driveway in front of you, according to Reddit. That's how it feels, it's...
Note to self, do not link the podcast on Reddit. Got it. Okay. I think that's us for this week.
Yep. So, hit us up on Twitter, once again, at RNGorilla, at Fiends, and then check us out on YouTube. We're starting to do a Let's Play series on just YouTube. It's Loot Fiends, 2 words. LOOT space FIENDS. So I think that's us for this time.
Yep. Have a good week, everybody.
Yep. See ya.